This call is being recorded.
All right, thank you for your patience. So, yeah, we see you're born in, well, actually, first of all, please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions whatsoever. That's totally fine. Or if there's anything you want to ask, that's totally fine as well. Just to clarify, you were born 9:54 p.m. It's Cincinnati on the 13th of March.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is dope. We see you're part of the new generation. Got Pluto and Sag and Uranus, Neptune, or Uranus and Jupiter in Aquarius. 97 is definitely a pivotal year because y'all have 29 degrees Capricorn. So that's definitely a big deal. And also being a part of the new generation really kicks in a very powerful collective element of how you harness your intuition and mainly kick in this new advent of consciousness, which primarily, with these outer planets, literally have everything to do with channeling high frequency beings and literal aliens. But outside of that, it's amazing to see your risings in Scorpio. And I'm glad you got the natal birth chart because there's definitely a lot to unpack here. So yeah, once again, grateful that you got this reading. I see you got the life-changing miracle code there too. So I'll make sure I mention the Jupiter transit briefly as well. But yeah, right off the bat, you having 29-degree Neptune, especially as a Scorpio rising, indicates you having one of the most powerful intuitions ever of all time, actually, which is unique to the 97 generation soul group. And it's actually a huge deal because as a Pisces sun, your fifth house relative to the equal sign system is actually ruled by Neptune. And so great or powerful element of your own creativity and more so how creatively you tap into the vibes around you and express them is heavily influenced by the incredibly mastered nature of your attitude and your skill sets. But honestly, at the 29-degree level, the feature of Neptune in Capricorn enables us to, and those born in the 90s, to connect your own body and physiology to the astral realm. It's a form of telepathy also in the third house where people's bodies will literally snitch to you and you'll be able to read body language quite automatically. What Neptune is doing is it's connecting your physiology at literally the mastered level. And with its connection to the astral realm, your body is like an antenna and it will move on its own. It's going to really have like a form of maybe even ultra instinct, but really the master level of intuition. And what this is going to do is it's going to discern the integrity of an individual's character in the third house relative to their behavior. So you'll psychoanalyze with your Scorpio rising how full of crap someone is or how legit someone is. And you'll just get like a physical sense. But at the 29-degree level, this is on a whole nother level. Like this is the definitive mastery of your intuition that with Mars that trines this now adds this element of perfection in the way you take action towards how it is you also connect. And so Mars 28 degrees is actually going to denote, once again, wow, this special mastery of not only how you take action, but also how the strategy in your action, which 28 degrees Mars in Virgo speaks of a mastery of analysis that goes into the actions you take, which are directly aligned with this intuitive sense of direction. And I don't have Virgo. I more have Taurus. Like the intuitive energy in Capricorn links to Taurus instead of Virgo. So that does its effort to ground per se this intuitive direction into like values or whatever. But Virgo will really take that keen precision to analyze the details of what you're being intuitively led to in the moment. And at this third house level, really gives you the ability to control and to sort the details of how exactly you take action. And in the third house, you'll be able to perceive at the level of your attitude, since this is going to be your physical actions and your body language, literally exactly where to aim at and what direction to go to. So right off the bat, I wanted to share that because that's a very, very crucial part of your chart. On top of that, that alone would speak to you being pretty perfect in the way you take action, especially seeing that your sun in Pisces is opposite this, and the way you process information really balances with this more analytical desire. But on top of that, you have destiny here. So you're the co-captain of your destiny group with the South Node on your sun. This is the 97 destiny mission of bringing heaven to earth that we see 97 and 98 come into. And so your every action is linked with destiny, which is even more relevant here in the 11th house, where you're using the resources of your divine creativity and your inner child and your talents so that you can really create and contribute these talents and skills to a group. You're destined to, of course, either join a group, maintain a group. 11th house doesn't have to specifically just be group as much as it is this sense of community. And also, you know, personally leverage this aspect of understanding more so how to really represent the abstract awareness and principles of divinity in ways that uh, flesh out more the practical reality of how you process the vibes and find real context for this imaginative expression of your creative talents and skills. So it also, in a certain sense, could be you being able to find the right people who fill in a lot of what it is you're putting in motion. And as we build this profile so far, this is a very, powerful energy. This is at a master level here with your sun. And you just kind of want to illustrate so far. Yeah, it's a very powerful chart. And on top of that, we see you have moon opposite Pluto, which is also very intense and a huge deal. Um, with your moon in Gemini, this actually gives you an angel soul. And not only do you have an angel soul, um, I'm actually going to share an article to that when I send you the recording to this reading, because uh, in this angel soul article, which is the ability to have the soul of an angel, where the soul is the moon in astrology, and Gemini's the angel, so Gemini moon is the angel soul. And, users of this ability may have souls of an angel that may even be dormant due to suppression by a higher power and may have to be unlocked, which is one thing until we examine the nature of your Gemini moon, which is on your eighth house cusp, relative to the equal sign system. That will put every house cusp 2 degrees. And we know Scorpio is the transformer. So you're a pure king, right? As a Scorpio rising. I'm a Taurus rising. That makes me a natural king. So we're having this conversation one-on-one because Taurus is an individual. I manifest Gemini, which is an individual truth. And so because my moon is here, because my sun is here rather, people like yourself, you paid me so that we can talk. And that's how I manifest money one-on-one. Well, you have this opposite where you as the pure king are social, and you manifest Sagittarius, which is collective. So whereas I manifest enlightenment, you manifest meaning as a representative of wisdom with Chiron on the rising. So you're an instrument of this transmutative pure healing. It's a fancy way of saying you trigger the crap out of people, maybe without even like you can just like point directly deeply into, very stuck emotional feelings or vibes, and really clear that. Or, if someone's in their ego, really trigger them. And you know that's one thing. Pluto here in a second will speak to you coming into great money in an extreme way when you manifest meaning, vision, uh and inspiration for a collective. So this like opens up your income potential so much, especially with Jupiter that went through here. But the cool thing is you're literally manifesting an extreme transformation, because Scorpio rising is the pure king. As a representative or of wisdom, this is that sign of transformation and death and rebirth. And so the eighth house, which it rules, will represent a true enlightened uh, boundary drawing or transformation. So your soul on the eighth house actually is representative of the extreme awakening of soul that induces a transformation. Which, when you see the angel um, soul, says users of this ability are angels among men. Their spiritual pressure is angelic. Users have supernatural abilities on an angelic level. Um, And then some users have powers that might be dormant due to suppression by a higher power. Angel morphing is an application. Some users can transform into angels. That's literally your ability. You're already an angel, right? So it's like you don't transform into it, but like you have the ability to transform your physiology to actually unlock elements of your angelic soul, which flow as a soul current and can express through your spirit. So that as a pure king, you have the vibration of true divinity. You're the angelic genie or the angel ascended master. Um, Pisces really represents the divine being. So you're like the true divine being, where you're receptive to the truth relative to your dealings with others, which makes you very telepathic and can hear their thoughts, but you're aware of this in a very abstract, creative way that shows you more the holistic connection of everything that you can speak to and communicate to. But I just want to illustrate this once again. Like, this is really badass. I normally notice this with Scorpio rising, Gemini suns, and in some cases the moons. But it's nice to see how on point yours is. You're literally manifesting Pluto on the second. Pluto is aspect of awakening in Sagittarius. This is very key because 96, 97, especially 98, the significance y'all play relative to us in the 90s with Pluto and Scorpio and Uranus and Neptune and Capricorn. We're really like a bridge generation. I have Pluto and Scorpio. So we have Saturn in Scorpio to Saturn in Pisces. And if you think about the last five zodiac signs, that ends a cycle. So what we see is Saturn end the cycle in Pisces while Pluto enters Sagittarius. Pluto entering Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Cap, Aqua, and Pisces are the last four signs. They're collective zodiac signs or the God signs. And so your generation, anyone born after 95 is very pivotal because y'all represent the advent of the new age of Aquarius, where your ability to process cosmic information or phenomena and extra dimensional supernatural phenomena is unlike anybody else that's on the world right now or in the world right now. And it's very tied to Saturn here, where especially at 97, which is one of the most important years ever, uh, mainly because y'all represent the very beginning of a new generation, Pluto and Sagittarius. Scorpio, Pluto returned in Scorpio, which is literally destroying the world. It's destruction, it's purity, it's literally transforming what is not in purity and
Yeah.
leaving to the new generation, y'all, what's left because y'all are here to create the new world. Sagittarius is creation. And so this extremeness of creation is generational. But then on top of that, not only do y'all have that, you have that while Saturn restarts the cycle in Aries. So this is representative of how y'all, specifically born in 97 and 98, are going to create and spark the new concepts that will lead humanity into the new age. And so those born 98, 99, 90, 2000 with Saturn and Taurus are the builders. They take the concepts y'all sparked and then they maintain them and start to, add contextual grounding to them and then like literally build the ideas. So this is really dope because um out of everyone in this facet of your generation, out of the sparkers, you're an upper level executive. You're an ascended master here. So you govern more of the true nature of the collective as a pure king. And I just want to speak once again more of, um, this element of your angel soul that as a Scorpio rising literally gives you the ability to first of all, manifest Pluto in Sagittarius as a Scorpio rising. How gangster is that? Your whole chart is ruled by Pluto, and the ruler of your chart is in the second house. And so your values are very extremely mutable, where you manifest this extreme sense of meaning. But you want to be careful because the second house represents your self esteem, and you want to be careful of going into extreme ups and downs of being very optimistic about your worth and then just being very negative about your worth. This could be at a very passionate level that will stabilize over time. But what you're doing here is you're manifesting a supernaturally extreme sense of passion here And if we think of Pluto as an aspect of transformation, this manifestation of transforming your perception of your soul links to the eighth house with its opposition to the moon, which makes you exceptionally receptive to negativity and the slick things people think they get away with when they say things that you hear in their tonality. You can like see the meaning of anyone's inner thoughts here and show it to them, right? This triggers the eighth house moon and activates the angel morphing, which is unconscious. So it's not like you have to, this could be like a switch of a button. Chiron could be the trigger, but a lot of this is going to happen relative to how deeply you feel. So I want to really point out how the North Node is like 9 degrees right now, and by December, right, by Sagittarius season, let's say mid-November, coming into December, where we have the final eclipse, the North Node is going to be on your moon. This is going to be the moment where you unlock this ability for the first time ever. Pluto is on the verge of coming over Neptune, which is a cool thing because this 2020 decade is going to be where the late 90s into the early 2000s, y'all finally awaken your power. And, we'll really feel like we're in the apocalypse because the, the, the let's just say the beginning part, the birth pangs of the apocalypse are representative of the late 90s and the early 90s awakening. And then when the show really gets good is when y'all awaken, because that's going to facilitate more of, the unveiling, apocalypse really being an unveiling and preparing people for, a new world, which y'all are going to create, right? So this is where personally, um, as we come into this nodal axis, this is representative of the higher power that's suppressing you is actually Pluto opposite this. Pluto, which trines Saturn, which is a limiter. Saturn is on your sixth house cusp to represent the raw authenticity that you hold others accountable to in their behavior and yourself individually. So Saturn and Aries in the sixth will represent a disciplined behavior as a Scorpio rising that you manifest individually and represents your unique ability to carve your own routine individually. Um, I feel like with Saturn Aries, it could be impatience with how you learn, or maybe an authority figure who may be impatient with making sure you put everything together quickly. But regardless, this will speak to a discipline of passion and instinctualness that enables you to apply this discipline to how you know set apart your routine and your behavior, but also hold others accountable to their behavior and how you discern it. This will be a minor inhibition and factor into harnessing your Gemini moon, especially because with Pluto unlocking, this is going to really open up your ability to understand like how extremely you can tap into this angel soul, and really transform it. And this is cool because the moon in the eighth house, uh, as a Scorpio rising, first of all, it's impossible to lie to you because even if you didn't have the details, as soon as someone lies, like you see they're lying, you'll feel it. It's like to the point where people won't even know that how much they lie to you. And this kind of gives you the opportunity to expose the crap out of them, and catch people in the process of lying in the moment, uh, which really speaks to the ingenious you have. And this brings me to Venus, Sun, and Mercury in Pisces. Pisces is actually very underrated as far as a sign of intellect because it's seen a lot more as delusional. And the only reason for that is because Pisces represents a metaphysical realm of existence outside of reality. And so most people who have Pisces magic or perception are generally misunderstood because you're discerning, especially with Mercury phenomena that cannot be seen, but only be, vibed through. But Pisces quintessentially is an Einstein energy because y'all are able to bring to full circle the holistic understanding of how everything is interconnected and related. It's just realistically, most people with Pisces energy don't have air, they don't have earth like you do. And so they're delusional as hell because they don't necessarily, and even the delusional Pisces are very smart. It's just, it's not even that they're delusional, they just don't have the ability to disassociate between logic conventionally and what they're feeling, since the Pisces awareness shows you how everything is connected. So this, in a way, they're not really wrong. They just don't know how to translate to mortals and humans, like people around here. So this is where personally, um, you have the best of both worlds here. Having a Gemini moon too, you could be receptive to the logic that aids into the supernatural perceptions. And it's really just, divine magic that really, like a conduit, enables you to harness this greater understanding beyond the relative constructs of reality. But yeah, this is going to also induce this creative way with which you are a hub and connect everything around you, which we also have to remember your destiny too. So your actions are linked to how you take this resource of awareness and now physically pinpoint the contextual basis of where everything you're receiving and perceiving plays out physically and physiologically. Did you have any questions so far?
Nah, keep going.
Awesome. Very awesome. Okay. So yeah, I want to make sure we're clear, like especially as a third decan Pisces, um, as a pure king, I would definitely love for you to practice not listening to people, which is going to be hard because you have the moon in Gemini, so like you can hear people without them even speaking.
All
And
the
that
time.
was really good to say. But like, with the moon in Gemini, the moon in Gemini is gonna be exceptionally receptive to the voices and the thoughts of other people. And, relative to that, uh, this goes a really long way towards establishing this unique element, I'd say, of how powerfully and realistically you're in a position to accordingly, how do I say this, really tap into a huge element of, how you feel and tap into, others around you, but also put yourself in a position to also connect with you know, aspects of your own understanding, you know, with other beings around you too. And this, I believe, is set to go a long way. Um, the more you personally, you know, step more and more into so much of how you realistically bring all this together and realistically process these elements of your Saturn return. Thankfully, what's going to come as a result of all this, we'll see, is I would say the way you not only come into this element of yourself, but also, okay, there we go. but also put yourself in a position to realistically tap into this unique sense of how powerfully you've been in a position to accordingly influence others because you're a collective energy and entity. And honestly, if your sun or moon is in like the last four zodiac signs, I'll say you're a god. Like this is collective awareness. So as a Pisces, especially, everything that you go through is what everyone else is going through. Like you're a reflection of this holistically, which is a burden because Pisces and Virgo are the karmic zodiac signs where you're going to share into the karmic nature of what everyone else is going around you, which is not fun, really. Especially being an emissary of destiny, you're inherently tapped into the plot and the karma of what's happening around you, or at least the destiny path, which I'm going to go into a bit more. But Moon in Gemini can hear the soul essence of everything. My youngest sister has this, and especially when she'd smoke weed, which she doesn't anymore. Really, she'd feel like she had schizophrenia, and most Moon in Gemini's will either be diagnosed as this or feel like this, and it's only half true. Auditory hallucinations that are as a result of Moon in Gemini is because y'all there's a soul in everything. Um, Science will get to the point to kind of express how, you know, um, everything is matter, right? Everything can really come down to matter and energy, but everything has a soul. And so with that, um, Gemini moons can hear the soul in everything, animate or inanimate objects. And this is going to come off as auditory hallucinations because science is going to tell you, motherfucker, you're crazy. You're hearing shit. And yeah, you are hearing shit. You're hearing the souls. You're hearing the unconscious element of people's inner thoughts. You can't turn this off. And Pisces has this at like the highest level because your Neptune channel to the astrum is powerful. And so, this is going to tap you in to the inner truth of individuals, which firsthand ugly as hell. Like there's the mask people put on, and then there's what people really think, right? There's what people truly think inside. And it doesn't have to be ugly. There, if you're around someone who's really pure, you're gonna feel that too. It's just that's gonna be rare as hell. Which like the quality of your soul is true. You have an enlightened angelic soul here in the eighth house, which means that the way you deal with other people means that this enables you in an enlightened way to draw enlightened boundaries because you're gonna feel the bullshit people are on before they even open their mouths. But this is very important because you must trust everything you feel with your soul. Your soul is going to give you insights that people will lie to your face in because not everyone's going to be honest about what they really, truly feel or think. Even aspects unconscious to them that if you were to open up and express, you may get gaslighted. So this is where you want to trust what you're hearing. The trine your moon makes to Uranus and Jupiter solidifies this with a base of claircognizance. Uranus is in its dignity in Aquarius. And so you're able to claircognizantly channel the private and deeper understanding of knowledge relative to whoever you're with so that you know what to say and you know what you're hearing. This is important because the eighth house represents boundaries and dealing with other people. And so this is going to give you very deep insight. And because the moon is an invisible receptive vibration or essence of soul, if you've ever seen the show Lucifer, or if you're familiar with that show or comic, in the show, he has an ability where he can draw the desire out of people. You have Mars on the North Node, which is desire. You have an aspect of every angel has this ability, actually. Lucifer is just more so relative to desire. So if you find that people are extremely drawn to spill the beans and just tell you secrets you didn't even ask, just tell you information about themselves, is because at an unconscious level, your soul is pulling this from them. so that some people may gain freedom expressing stuck emotions or thoughts. These people will not want to tell you what they're telling you, by the way. So, like, when they tell you this afterwards, they'll be like, "What the hell? Why did I tell? I don't even know this person. All this stuff. It's crazy." And they don't know that you're a super magical angel that's not even from here, and like coming into the truth of the collective through these people, which, once again, like, it's an honor to speak to you because technically you don't exist. Like, science says that you only exist in science fiction narratives, but you look at you here talking to me, which is super awesome. So, your very existence is controversial, and you're advancing humanity in the way you're facilitating these magical experiences with people under their radar. I mean, like, you'll do magic in front of somebody and they wouldn't even know you did it. They'll probably call you crazy. Uh, there's that, which is dope. But once again, I just can't understate that uh, this nature of magic you possess or move forward with. Because remember, as a fixed sign rising, we both have magic. I have Gemini magic, so my value is truth. You have ascended magic, so your magic is at the collective level, which could transform everything. And with Neptune, that is directly on your sun right now, I'm going to share an alien construct article. You weren't born with this aspect, but you've inherited it. Just like Uranus will eventually go over your moon. And so this gives you the ability to ascend, to assist the dying and crossing over. You're going to be a lot more aware of the astral realm and your ability to see into the pathologies of other people, but also, and how delusional they may be, but also, the astral realm, telepath, communicate with fairies, all that. This will really represent the abstract perceptual basis of how we draw in imagination and ground it into this real dimension. And so, as an ascended master, as a true angelic ascended master, um, you've well progressed in the areas where you've manifested this element of your identity. Jupiter coming out of your fifth house is evolving your talents. It's going to go back in next year, and you're going to really upgrade this element of everything you're really good at doing and tapping into this divine sense of your creativity accordingly. That will open up so much more how divinely and magically you, through Cancer season, upgrade your philosophy because of how much more talented you express your creativity with others. Let's remember the purpose of this creativity. If we now look into Pisces, Pisces is still like the most misunderstood vibration. I'm not even going to pretend to understand Pisces because everything that I understand about it, I still feel is like the tip of the iceberg. But from what we know, Pisces represents the if Virgo is going to take a clock, right? And you're going to break that clock into every individual piece. That's Virgo. Virgo's going to let you know every single nut and bolt. Pisces is going to take every individual piece and it's going to connect it into an interrelated whole. It's going to show you how all of that creates a watch. And so, as a Pisces sun, what people don't understand about Pisces suns, even me that's talking about it, like Gemini understands Pisces in a translator way, but like the Pisces sun is able to walk into an experience and come into the conclusion. Whereas Gemini will look at the beginning of the sentence, Pisces will see how the sentence ends. Sometimes you can know how the sentence ends without knowing how it begins, but you'll be receptive to it because you have a moon in Gemini. So you feel into the what, and your sun looks into the why, because Pisces answers why, where Virgo answers how. And Sagittarius is just there. It's just like what everything means. It's the adventure, right? But personally, with the Piscean vibe, you literally are able to form a perspective that gives you divine insight, not only into why things are happening, but what people don't respect enough about Pisces as a moon or a sun is that within moments, you literally come in to a comprehensive perception that brings together what's happening. Like you're able to really come into a very grand understanding of an experience in ways that other people won't, because you're directly aware of phenomena that other people don't even think exists. And so you incorporate that. I want to kind of illustrate how Capricorn, which represents the collective earth sign, is followed up by Aquarius, which is out of this world. Aquarius represents the causal realm of the mind and the mental realm, which you don't really see, you literally think about. And then what's beyond that, in the realm of imagination, is Pisces. So a lot of people still haven't accepted that, like, Pisces see ghosts. Like, y'all, with the sun in awareness, like, maybe you don't see it like Sagittarius visually, but it's like a vibration that you sense, maybe like sonar, or maybe you see it, but like y'all actually see the unseen. I get the sense that as a Pisces, y'all just gave up trying to like explain it to us because we don't see it. So it's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna be called like crazy. You muggles will just get it later or never or something like that. And
Mm.
I know before I got into astrology, or even getting into astrology, that used to be my block. Like as a Gemini, it was so logical. Pisces bring me out my comfort zone so much. And I had to learn, okay, y'all are just some extra magical ass MFers. Like this is ridiculous. And thankfully y'all taught me there's a whole existence outside this reality that must be embraced. And that's what made me realize, okay, y'all actually are aware. If you think that y'all are at the top of the penthouse, y'all will be receptive and see things that just others can't see. Like if you think about the range of frequency, like y'all are outside the normal range of frequency. And I would really like to illustrate that because with Mercury and Pisces here, Mercury now doesn't like to be in Pisces here, say, because it's non-linear. So your brain has the ability to process non-linearly, um, aspects in experience that tie into each other. This
Mm.
enables literally go all over the place, but then link point A with point Z fascinatingly, effortlessly, and like go back to point D and then see how it connects to point F. Um, and this enables you to connect every interrelated piece to the whole, which you take the purity of wisdom in Scorpio and express divinely, very creatively. So Venus is going to speak to this unconditional love of pleasure and heart, and a divine heart that will also speak to the creativity with which you can really express this. This actually makes you a super creative individual. Pisces is very talented as an energy too. So this will really go a long way towards putting you in that position to really enjoy. But other than that, with Mercury here, Mercury is going to really denote that ability for you to realistically also tap into this sense of, you know, being able to process this phenomenon of communicating with abstract entities, because at the Piscean level, at the Aries level, it's individual. The Piscean level, it's an entity. And these abstract experiences that help you really discern at a higher collective level what's happening. What happens too is that the universe will send you collective influences to connect with. And so you'll never really just talk with one person at a time. Mainly, this could be more your experience with talking to a collective influence where you could literally have a conversation with the entire collective at once. It's going to look like you're crazy as fuck, but really, this is an element of your genius as a divine being. which I feel like is just the life of Piscean individuals. But without making me sound too abstracted and too unapproachable and too magical, we're taking this very creative element here, and it's being used as a resource with the South Node to really now form very masterful communities. You're taking this very abstract, holistic, creative perception, and you're fine tuning and pinpointing it strategically in the way you take masterful action and can specify relative to everything you're aware of what to specifically focus on. And this is very important because your North Node, like, I've never to this day in 8 years did a single reading with any Virgo energy that does not have precision. It's to the point where I have beef now. It's like, really, Virgo? Like, I see this all the time. It's like, Virgo, if you think about it, represents precision, and Scorpio represents specific, right? So that's why you have the Chiron 1 degree right next to your AC, and you have the specific, you know what I'm saying, Mars on the target of the North Node. This is like Diego and Umbrella Academy. Like, you hit your target, even if you have to change directories. This is saying that you're gonna hit the bullseye. You're destined to hit that bullseye every time. Like, that's your divine talent. That could even be like one of your superpowers. Like, you never miss the mark here. And this is going to really speak to how you're destined to be a leader and forge through these creative communities where you're bringing this divine element as a foundation to also sort, organize, and set, this critical analysis in this community around you, because it doesn't have to play out like just that. There's going to be more application here, but that's mainly what we're going to see with this. And other than that, man, uh, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I barely scratched the surface, but your chart is super awesome, bro. Like, this is lit. Your MC is in Leo. So I noticed Scorpio risings don't like the spotlight, but with the MC in Leo, your legacy is to be seen. Like, you're an inspiration. Leg MC and Leo is the performer. So, like, you're going to be noticed more than other people. You're going to have people look at you. Scorpio rising is the death stare rising if people mess with you, right? It's a very intimidating, pure personality as a pure king. But with Lilith here and the Powers of Fortune, you're definitely someone who's going to use that hidden net knowledge and unconventionality. Jupiter, which is going through your fourth, which will facilitate moves and evolving your home space unexpectedly, unexpected success. The more you step into your MC and Leo and be a performer and put yourself out there, be inspirational. This is going to really be a good look now that Uranus is in your seventh, where you have Juno. So, did you have any final questions at all?
Well, I know we're about to reach the hour, and I value your time dearly. So I do want to honor that. So I do want to just maybe share some insights that I've been receiving throughout this. Maybe not any specific questions, though, if you're open to receiving.
Yeah, go ahead. That's totally fine.
All right, perfect. First of all, man, I just want to say thank you. Like, utmost gratitude for you. You're doing amazing service here. I've found your channel from a friend a little over a year ago now, and just the synchronicities have just been stellar, to say the least. And this conversation has just been absolutely affirming the entire time, and I'm so grateful to finally be able to communicate one-on-one instead of just like flirting through social media. I like to share your stuff, but it's actually amazing to be in resonance on a more personal level. I'm very grateful that our paths have paralleled in this lifetime. So I just want to also say that, like, our higher selves are in conversation. This is all very new to me. From big part of my process in my early 20s has been unconditioning everything and relearning who I am. And I just want to commend you for your ability to translate into English and make it so palpable. And that's something that I'm finding is one of the greatest challenges in this realm, is making it translatable to the person. So kudos, you're doing great work. And I really appreciate everything that you said. And also, do you mind if I just like share some synchronicities?
Oh, please. I would love that.
Cool. So just like randomly, both my biological parents are Aquarians, which I think is really unique Aquarius being the
Yeah,
water
it's a
bearer and
big
then
deal.
me.
You have two celestial parents. It's amazing. They're
Wow.
both Roy.
And if you look up my birthday on Google, the thing that pops up is the Phoenix Light, which is one of the most well observed extraterrestrial events to occur
No
in
way.
modern history in
Wow.
Arizona. Yep. So I've been like
Wait,
thinking about that for
you were born when that happened?
that while my mother was pushing me out of her vagina. That was
Jesus
happening.
Christ, that is insane. Holy
Pretty mad.
crap. That's deep as hell. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That was very important.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. No worries.
Holy
Um, yeah, I'm pretty open about that, so it's not like I'm out here hiding it. But I would just want to say, like, everything you shared just rang true right to my soul, man. So I'm very grateful, honestly. And I've been thinking about getting the reading for some time, and I was like, that's a pretty penny, but I came into some money, and I was like, you were speaking the other day on the Jupiter live stream, and it spoke right to me, and I think that this is a great decision. So I look forward to building on this conversation. I know that this is only the beginning, so I'm looking forward to getting the recording and the links that you have to share. And yeah, much admiration for you, man. You're doing great things.
No problem. And I am going to share a discount code for whenever you want to order in future. And yeah, definitely looking forward to keep in touch with you, man. And thank you for calling in once again. And I'm going to send you this recording as soon as